my name is Julia and welcome to my channel, Little Blue Bookworm. Today I finished This Side of Murder by Annalee Huber. This book was kind of low on my list because I didn't have super high expectations of it, but I really enjoyed it. I'd say I'd give it 3.5. It wasn't the best book I've read. I enjoyed The Night Circus more just because it was really excellent and I really enjoyed it. And I did also really like Rebecca, but I also really enjoyed this book. I wasn't expecting to finish it so quickly, but then I just kept reading it and soon I was done. It's a murder mystery. I was able to see the main villain, who it was, coming. I thought it was kind of obvious because it was the only character where there were things set up about this character that we didn't know yet, and I was like, oh, it's definitely as a big reveal going to be this person. And I was right. All the other reveals I didn't really see coming. There is one that crossed my mind and I was like, they're probably not going to do that because it would be kind of unrealistic. And they did that. And I'm not mad because I really enjoyed it and I liked where it went. For the romance, at the beginning, I was not that interested in it. Or I wouldn't say I wasn't interested, I just didn't like where it was going at first, but I really like where it ended. I'm really happy of the direction it went, and I really hope it stays that way. I feel like I didn't like the romance at the beginning because it's about this woman who's a widow, and her husband recently died like a little over a year ago or a little under a year ago, and she's still kind of mourning him and trying to get over him. And it just felt a little too soon that this other guy kind of pops up. He's very nice, but I think another reason I didn't really like him at the beginning is because he seems like the only nice guy in this group of people. Like all the other guys, there's always something wrong with them. One is super grumpy, one is just a plain jerk. That was another thing. Most of the characters felt very one-dimensional. I kept reading it because I did really enjoy it. When I usually read books, I don't keep reading for the character. I often keep reading for the plot. Now that I'm older, like if a book has really good characters, then yeah, I'm going to keep reading it, of course. I love characters, but this book, not strong in that aspect yet. I know there are more books. I'm going to get to them eventually, but like I've said before, my reading list for this month is pretty full, so probably not going to get to that one yet. Also, I dropped The Picture of Dorian Gray because I recently learned that it's inappropriate, so yeah. I will try to replace it with another book, not sure what yet. Either if I have time. I was recounting the books and I'm trying to finish one every week so that I can finish them all by the end of this month, but this past few days school has been so hard. We'll see if that happens. Anyway, back to the book. Another thing about the one-dimensional characters, there was one character I really enjoyed because I just thought he was super entertaining, but I think he was like he wasn't super entertaining. I just thought he was interesting and a bit less one-dimensional than all the other ones. But he was literally like the first character to die, so I was like, okay. The other character who also kind of interested me was the second person to die. And I was like, at that point I was like, oh, after that I didn't really care about any of the characters. Also, like, I feel like she was trying to show that they have a collection of different personalities, but it just felt like I'm picking one person from this type of personality and putting it in here and not really going to flesh them out. Like the jerk character, I felt like he was very, very one-dimensional. And also the main plot twist villain, although I was able to see them coming, I feel like when they explain that person's motive, I was like, that's a really weak motive. I felt like she could have come up with a way better, more interesting motive that maybe delved into because the story revolves around her trying to unearth who sent spies and kind of committed treason during the war. And I feel like it could have been interesting to see maybe that this person really believes they are doing the right thing and they're committing treason because they maybe love the people specifically in their country that they want to protect or something. like, there's so much you can do. Like, also, like, I don't know that much about World War II, but from what I do know, I know that most of the people weren't aware of the horrible treatment like that the Jews were receiving, and they probably, like, I know it was very strict, but I'm sure that a lot of people didn't realize how bad it was, and it would be interesting to kind of play into that a little bit more. While reading this book, I got serious Agatha Christie vibes, but not as good. And that's just because I was able to see the plot twist villain coming from so far away. There were two kind of villains that I wasn't really expecting, and one of them I just wasn't able to tell, but when it was revealed, I was like, oh, I was kind of expecting more a bit from both of them, which is why it didn't necessarily fall flat, because there was kind of, well, I felt like at one point, I just felt like it would have been really interesting if the secondary villain was kind of almost anyone else. When I say I got Agatha Christie vibes, I mean like the whole atmosphere. The only book I've read from her is And Then There Were None, but it kind of follows the same thing. They're stuck on this island, it's super stormy, they have no way of getting off. It gave me serious End of Summer vibes as well. Like, it begins like she's going to the island, they're on a boat, they go around the island, and on the island it's only ever like stormy or sunny. That's the impression I got. I could be wrong. But I really liked that kind of end of summer atmosphere. I do feel like there were some things, like I feel like the author didn't really know what she was talking about sometimes. Like, the main character was supposed to have been in the Secret Service. Do I believe this? No. It felt like the author just kind of researched what the Secret Service was about and then kind of wrote what she thought it might be like. I feel like for me to believe the main character was in the Secret Service, she would have had to be way better. I could potentially believe that she was a policewoman, but not in the Secret Service. She's too bad at like hiding her facial expressions. She's not really bad, but she slips up enough times where I'm like, I'm not quite believing that. For me, like, I don't know that much about the Secret Service, but I would assume they are excellent liars. Not that she's a bad liar, she's just... I feel like she would have been trained better if she was really in the Secret Service. The other thing that made me feel a bit weird about this book is that there are parts where she's describing clothes, and the first time I read about it, it just caught me so off guard because she uses so many adjectives that I'm like, I felt like she was a beginner author, because just like, here, I have a part, I marked it towards the very beginning. I adjusted my rather uninspired cream short-brimmed hat over my auburn castle-bobbed tresses. Tell me that doesn't sound like an amateur author. No offense towards Annalee Huber, because I really enjoyed it. I thought the way she sowed the seeds was very interesting. I liked seeing that she did try to add dimension to everybody. Like, in particular, there's this really mean other lady who's there with them. She did add dimension to her, but at the same time, like, I feel like it fell a little flat because she still didn't quite get it. Like, the character, not the author. I felt like the only intelligent, nice woman was the main character, except for one other woman on the island. And I feel like all the other women as well suffered from the one-dimensional. There was like the nice friend stereotype. There was the mean friend stereotype. There were the two ditzes stereotypes. 3 ditzes, kind of. And I just, not stereotypes I care for. I've seen them so often in books, in movies, that when I saw them in this, it didn't irk me, but at the same time, they never grew out of those stereotypes. So it was just like, eh. Especially like the two ditzes, they didn't even have to be in this story, and it would have been exactly the same. Like, they didn't affect the plot at all. Nelly, the mean girl, was interesting. I liked some elements of her, but at the same time, again, it fell flat. And I feel like most of the characters were like that. The closest thing is there's a second love interest that it gets introduced to her later on, and I really like this character. I was really curious about them. I feel like they were less one-dimensional than everybody else. I feel like they made the most questionable choices, and I was here for it. I wanted to see how it would end, because it also like affected the main character a lot, and I enjoyed seeing that. And overall, I really enjoyed this book, and I am looking forward to seeing where she'll go with it in the future. I have finished The Night Circus as well, but I have not really had much time to edit the video, and this one is much shorter, so I'll probably be posting this one first. But I have read The Night Circus, loved it, and I will put up a review sooner or later. Yeah, that was my review of This Side of Murder. I really enjoyed it, and I will be continuing with the series eventually. Maybe next month, maybe next year. But I do really like it, and I will continue it. And yeah, let me know, have you read this author? I saw on the back that she's known for another series as well. I think she even got an award for it, apparently. She wrote the Lady Darby mysteries. Let me know, have you guys read that? What did you think of it? Should I check it out? Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!